Let's head over to Lindsay right now. She's talking Caps. We're all thinking Caps these days.
Hey there, Jim. Sergei Fedorov became a skilled hockey player by practicing with the team his father ran in the Soviet Union. It was evident early on that he was going to be a star, but under a strict communist regime, he knew it would take a move dangerous to himself and to his family to become a game-changing player in the NHL. The Capitals would have never made it to the second round of the playoffs had it not been for veteran Sergei Fedorov. Fedorov would have never had the game-winning opportunity if he hadn't risked everything for the game he loves by defecting to the United States 19 years ago.
It was scary, but being 20, not much experience, like pays off, you know. You're dumb, you're young. you think you're doing it for fun, and obviously I would never do the same thing at my age right now. No way.
It was 1990. Sergei Fedorov was a 20-year-old star playing for the Soviet national team. He had already been notified by Red Wings Vice President Jimmy Likes that he had been drafted by Detroit. On the eve of the Goodwill Games while playing an exhibition in Portland, Oregon, Sergei knew if he was to pursue a life of hockey and freedom, he had to defect.
So we were in contact and we decided to leave, you know, because they said somebody else from our team might defect. And if that happened, everybody would be really watched. We played the game out. I was the last guy with my roommate off the bus. And when everybody went up, I told my roommate I'm going to Detroit. And he's like, yeah, whatever, let's go have a dinner. I said, no, I'm leaving now. His eyes got big, and I thought he might grab me because he was twice as big. He was our masseuse, you know? So I was a little bit, start getting nervous because he might grab me and put me in an elevator and bring me to the coaches, even though we were friends. But I remember that those kind of thoughts went through, you know? And I said, listen, I know you're gonna get in trouble, some kind of trouble. Here's all the money I have. So I give him 1,000 Swiss francs. You know, that's my savings, you know, for all the years I play in Soviet Union and Russia. And I said, listen, I decided I'm gonna go play in National Hockey League. And he, in disbelief, slowly like back into the elevator shot, and I'm like, hey man, good to see you, so everything gonna be cool, I'll call you later. So finally I sent him on the way, and I saw Jimmy Lights was reading, I guess, USA Today, and I came up to his table, I said, let's go. He's like, looking at me like, you know English? I'm like, no, I just know that word.
Let's go.
Yeah, so we went out of the back door out of the hotel where our team stayed, jump in a Lincoln town car, and 20 minutes later we were at Oakland International Airport, and 4 hours later I was in Detroit.
Almost 5,000 miles from home. While Fedorov risked his own safety to play NHL hockey, word of his defection began to spread worldwide.
Both the CBS and NBC affiliates are reporting that Fedorov has defected. One station reporting that he is already in Detroit.
Now, his biggest concern was for his family. His mother, father, and younger brother had no idea he had even left.
They found out from primetime TV. That was very intense for them, I think. But I was only 20. I guess I didn't realize how big of a move it is, you know.
They put their lives on the line. They put their families at risk. They had to leave. They never knew whether they'd come back. They never knew whether they'd get out. They never knew whether they'd ever be seen again. I remember talking to one player, he was getting across the border, and he didn't know whether he was going to get shot in the back or not.
They just opened the way. You know, they just opened the door to NHL for everybody. And of course it was not the right way to open, but you know, I think they made a good choice.
Ovechkin knows he wouldn't be playing here in the NHL had it not been for Fedorov. And Sergei told me that when his family was watching on national television, they saw he had defected. His baby brother was crying. He said his father was laughing. And I said, why was he laughing? And he said, because he knew what that meant for me. So the first time Sergei got to go back to Russia was '94. His parents made their first trip here shortly after, and they now live in Detroit.
Amazing story.
It's quite remarkable.
A lot of courage in that Cap.
Absolutely. A lot of courage that a lot of people, I think, don't realize.
Great interview.
Thanks.
Lindsay, thanks. And we'll be right back. Stay with us.